So, welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a short span of time within 30 minutes. The idea is that we want you to cover your current affairs very quickly so that you're left with your entire day covering other parts of your UPSC syllabus. Now, just watching this lecture would be job half done because just after watching it, you need to revise it as well. Why? Well, revision helps in consolidating these current affairs in your memory. Otherwise, you'll quickly forget them. Now, you can revise these current affairs from our notes, and these notes are available on our Telegram channel. The link to our Telegram channel is provided in the comment section below. You just have to click on that link. It'll take you to our Telegram channel, and from there, you can download the notes and do the necessary revision. All right. Without further ado, let's quickly start today's discussion. But first, let's take a look at the list of topics that we are going to cover today. So these are the four topics that we are going to cover today. Okay. Number one is the issue of three language formula. Okay. Recently, Tamil Nadu government and the central government have been at loggerheads with respect to the implementation of three language formula as per National Education Policy 2020. Basically, the three language formula is that school curriculum should teach you one regional language, Hindi and English. But Tamil Nadu government is against imposition of Hindi in their school curriculum. So what is this three language formula? What was the purpose behind introducing this three language formula? We'll talk about this. Then recently we'll talk about an AI tool which will be used to scan chest x-rays for diagnosing TB. Recently, Central TB Division has asked state governments to use this tool for TB screening. But this tool has some problems, so we'll talk about this. Then we'll talk about major and minor minerals because there was some news regarding them. So what is the difference between major minerals and minor minerals? We'll talk about that. And then in the end, we'll talk about Maratha military landscape. The thing is that Maharashtra government has sent a proposal to UNESCO. And that proposal is that the 12 forts under Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, which were used to defend the Maratha army, the Maratha empire, well, those forts should be declared World Heritage Sites. So we'll talk about Maratha military landscape. All right. So these are the four topics that we are going to focus on. Let's start discussing them one by one. First, let's start with issue of three language formula. Okay. So the thing is that Union Education Minister indicated that the central government scheme called Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, which provides funding to state governments for improving their school education, well, this funding will be withheld for Tamil Nadu because Tamil Nadu is not implementing three language formula as proposed in National Education Policy 2020. Now, Tamil Nadu government says that this three language formula is basically a way of imposing Hindi on us. And Tamil Nadu has a history of fighting against Hindi imposition, or Hindi being the national language. They want to teach their children English and Tamil, but the national education policy says that you need to teach Hindi, English, and your local language. Three language formula. And this three language formula was not proposed in National Education Policy 2020. It was proposed in National Education Policy 1968 also. Then too Tamil Nadu government raised issues against it and did not implement it. Okay. But now the central government is saying that we will withhold all kinds of funding. Not all kinds of funding, but you won't receive funding from us. There will be penal action against you if you don't implement this. Now the question is, what is this three language formula? Okay. Now the basic part you understand. It was introduced in the National Education Policy 1968, and it was that school education should involve teaching Hindi, English, and regional language of that region. Okay. The idea behind it was to promote multilingualism because they say that when you teach multiple languages to young kids, their brain development, or we call it cognitive development, is very high. Okay. So teaching, or when you teach your kids at a very young age to be multilingual, well, it's beneficial for their cognitive development or brain development. So it's good for the kids. Then it would also help in national integration. Yes, in most parts of the country, English is used as the link language. But English is a foreign language, so we need another Indian language to be as a to be a link language basically. So this will help in national integration and administrative efficiency also. Why? Because most of the government records are in multiple languages. They would be in single language. Apart from English, they would be in Hindi also. Plus, there are many bureaucrats who are from one state and serve in other states, so it would be easy for them also. So, for all these reasons, 1968 policy basically said that you need to impose or you need to basically implement three language formula. But Tamil Nadu government did not agree and they never agreed to this and implemented this. Okay. Now, this policy was reiterated in National Education Policy 1986 and it was included in National Education Policy 2020 also, but with some flexibilities. Okay, there were some flexibilities provided in 2020 NEP. Okay, plus the question was, what about those states whose regional language is Hindi? Okay, for example, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan, Haryana, there are many states whose regional language is also Hindi language. How would they implement three language formula? So for them, it was said that you will teach English, you will teach Hindi, and you will also teach any other Indian language. Okay, it can be a South Indian language, any other Indian language of your choice, you can do that. And it was said that if you do not find any other Indian language, then you can go for Sanskrit. Okay, so you can implement this three language formula also. So many Hindi speaking states implemented this formula as well. Clear? Now, what were the flexibilities provided for in National Education Policy 2020 for three language formula? Okay, states and students can choose the three language of their choice. Apart from English and Hindi, they can choose any other language. Okay, there is no imposition of any one specific language. It's your choice to choose any language from any state. Okay, plus the central government said that emphasis should be given on mother tongue. At least education should be in mother tongue till 5th grade. It should be done. Okay, then Sanskrit was promoted as an optional language or the third language. Now the thing is, why is this three language formula being opposed by Tamil Nadu and by some other states as well? First of all, they think that this is basically a form of imposition of Hindi. Okay, and Tamil Nadu says that we have our own language. Why are you imposing North Indian languages on us? So they perceive it as Hindi imposition. Plus, when you do this, then regional cultural sentiments, they are stoked. Okay, they are stoked basically, and then politicians take advantage out of it, exploit these situations. Okay, so it causes cultural and political tensions due to linguistic regionalism. Use this word, it is a good word, good keyword, can be used in your answers as well. So linguistic regionalism or linguistic nationalism. Okay, these feelings are basically promoted by politicians and can lead to political tensions and give rise to regionalism or subnationalism. Clear? Now, this is the entire issue. But we also talked about Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan. So, what is Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan? So, look, earlier there were three schemes which dealt with three forms of school education: primary school education, secondary school education, and teachers training for school education or school teachers training. There were three separate schemes for these three things. Okay. Now, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan was for primary, Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan was for secondary, and teacher education was for teacher education. Now, government thought that multiple schemes catering to school education alone would create confusion. So, you need to combine all these three schemes into one. And Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan was launched. So, it's an overarching program for school education extending from preschool to class 12th. The aim of this entire Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan is to improve school education, okay, improve access to school education so that people from disadvantaged groups also get access to school education. And government schools also provide quality education at par with private schools, equitable learning outcomes, and many other aspects or problems or issues with respect to school education were tried or were attempted, or the solutions to them were attempted under Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, and it's still going on. So state governments receive funding under various programs from Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, and currently central government blocked a particular form of funding for Tamil Nadu government because they were not implementing the three language formula. Okay, that's the whole issue. Now let's move forward to next news item, which is DeepCXR AI tool for TB. Now you see we have National TB elimination program. Under this, we want to eliminate TB. Earlier, we had set ourselves a target of eliminating TB by 2030. But under this National TB Elimination Program, we have advanced this target by 5 years. Now we will eliminate TB by 2025. Now 2025 is already here, but we are nowhere near eliminating TB. Now elimination of TB involves three steps basically. Okay. First of all, diagnosis. First of all, you need to know how many people are suffering from TB. Then you need to treat them. And then you need to reform the entire regime. Okay, so that more patients are not diagnosed with TB. Okay, now this diagnosis as to how many people in India are suffering from TB, because TB is sometimes silent also. Many people don't know that they are suffering from TB. Okay, they just suffer, but they don't know it's TB. Okay, so diagnosis is very important, and for that, government conducts various screening programs. Under those screening programs, government randomly selects people, not randomly, but goes around different parts of the country, take their chest x-rays and scan them, or have experts look at them. Okay, now there are so many chest x-rays, and it is very difficult for all the doctors to scan all these chest x-rays quickly. Therefore, many AI tools were being explored to scan these chest x-rays quickly. Clear? In that direction, many AI tools have been developed. One such AI tool is DeepCXR AI tool. Now the thing is, Central TB Division has informed states to consider utilizing this tool for X-ray interpretation for TB. Okay, and Central TB Division did that when states asked them. They didn't do that unilaterally. Okay, it was not an advisory basically. When states ask them that is there any AI tool which we can use to screen our TB patients, then Central TB Division said that DeepCXR AI tool is good. Recently, Indian Council of Medical Research also gave its approval to this tool, so you can use this tool. But the problem with this tool is that whenever there is any new technology for medical diagnosis or in the field of medicine that is introduced, it first needs to get approval from Health Technology Assessment and Medical Technology Assessment Board. If these authorities certify and approve, then generally, it's not mandatory, but then generally these technologies are then introduced. Okay. But the problem is that DeepCXR AI tool has not received approval from HTA or MTAB, despite the fact that there are other AI tools that have been approved by HTA and MTAB, like QXR tool by Cure AI, GenKey by DeepTech. These tools have received approvals from HTA and MTAB. Yet, Central TB Division is advising DeepCXR AI tool. Okay, this is the controversial part. They say that ICMR and Central TB Division should have at least waited for HTA and MTAB assessment and should have advised QXR tool and GenKey to state governments because these have received uh, approvals from them. But Central TB Division CTD has advised DeepCXR. Okay, this is the basic controversy. Now about DeepCXR, what is the issue? So DeepCXR was developed by Institute of Plasma Research, Gandhinagar, and was approved by ICMR expert committee without health technological assessment. Unlike QXR and GenKey, DeepCXR lacks published data on sensitivity, specificity, and field performance. So it has not been tried and tested properly. That is why HTA and MTAB haven't given their approval. There is not enough data. And the tools for which data is available are QXR and GenKey, but Central TB Division is not advising them. This is the issue. Now, you see, the thing is that for any new technology in the field of medicine, it is not mandatory. Okay, there is no legal obligation to get HTA assessment done. But generally, government follows this rule. Generally, before introducing any new technology, government follows this. Government does HT assessment and MTAB assessment. But this time they're not doing it. So that is why it is controversial. Okay. Now, as far as TB is concerned, we all know it is caused by a bacteria called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Okay. And it is a big killer in India. It is a respiratory disease. It creates severe impairments in your respiratory system, and if not treated properly, then it might even lead to death. In fact, treatments are also not effective these days because these bacteria have become resistant to certain drugs. That is why people are now suffering from multi-drug resistant TB. The drugs that used to work on this bacteria, well, these bacteria have become resistant to them. So now you have to give more powerful antibiotics. Clear? People who suffer from multi-drug resistant TB suffer more. Okay. Then there is another higher level of TB infection, extreme drug resistance TB. So India suffers from TB a lot. In fact, we have the highest TB burden in the world. That is why we launched National Tuberculosis Elimination Program. Earlier, the target was 2030. Now it has been advanced to 2025. This program operates under 4 strategic pillars: detect, treat, prevent, and build. Okay, detect through screening, treat people, prevent further basically infection, and build your healthcare systems so that you can deal with all of this. Okay, now AI for TB screening is being utilized because India is a big country and we have a huge population. Scanning all the people in India would be very difficult for our doctors or healthcare professionals. Therefore, you need AI tools for TB screening. Okay, that is why these tools are being debated upon. All right, now let's move forward to third news item of the day, which is major versus minor minerals. Thing is, minerals are very important. Okay, every production process requires minerals. Now, some minerals are major minerals, some are minor. Recently, Ministry of Mines has reclassified barytes, feldspar, mica, and quartz, which were called minor minerals earlier. They have reclassified them into major minerals category. Okay. Now, this decision is significant because minor minerals in India are treated differently and major minerals are treated differently. Okay. Now, how different it is? You have to look at this table. Okay. Major minerals are those minerals that are of high economic and strategic industrial importance, while minor minerals are of low economic value. Now, the thing is, major minerals are regulated by central government. There is an agency in India called Indian Bureau of Mines, which works under Ministry of Mines, Union Ministry of Mines. So, major minerals are regulated. Their mining licenses are regulated by central government, Indian Bureau of Mines, while minor minerals are regulated by state government. Okay. Now, major minerals are strategically important. That's why if you want to mine these minerals, you will get a mining lease from the government. And these mining leases are very long, like up to 50 years. And the entire process is regulated by Mines and Minerals Development Act, Section 8A of MMDR Act. Okay. Whereas for minor minerals, well, they generally have shorter lease and the entire process is not regulated by MMDR Act, it is decided by state government. Regulated by center, okay, But the tax earnings from mining of tax earnings and all the earnings from mining of major minerals, they go to state governments. You have to remember this. Mining of major minerals, any revenue earned from mining of major minerals would go to states, but the entire process would be regulated by center. In case of minor minerals, revenue would also go to states, regulation would also be done by states. Some examples of major minerals: iron, gold, coal, uranium, bauxite, mica, and minor minerals which are mostly used in construction projects like sand mining, marble, limestone, clay, granite, all that. Clear? So mica, feldspar, barrettes, and quartz have been put under major minerals category because maybe central government must have found out that these minerals are also strategically important, industrially important, economically important, and they need to be regulated by central government rather than state government. Okay, that is why it was done. Clear? So this is the whole thing. All right. Now let's move on to our fourth news item, which is Maratha military landscape. So, Maharashtra Cultural Affairs Minister Ashish Sheller is leading a high level delegation in Paris to UNESCO World Heritage status for 12 forts of Maratha King Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Okay, so basically, Maharashtra government is putting forward a proposal to UNESCO delegation to UNESCO World Heritage meet in Paris. Okay, and it is saying that these 12 forts, these 12 different forts constructed and maintained by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, which these forts combined are called Maratha military landscape. So all these 12 forts should get UNESCO World Heritage Site status. Okay. So the UNESCO tag proposal includes 12 forts under Maratha military landscape. So the title given to all these 12 forts is Maratha military landscape. Okay. And what is the reason for that? First of all, let's talk about these forts. Okay. So Maratha military landscape refers to fortifications and strategic defense systems built by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and later Maratha rulers between 17th and 19th centuries. Now, the reason why Maharashtra government is saying that they deserve a UNESCO World Heritage Site status is that these were very unique fortifications. They showcased advanced military architecture, strategic positioning, adaptation to diverse terrain across India. Every fort was different and was basically based on its surroundings. Okay. Now, these 12 forts are Raigad, Rajgarh, Pratapgarh, Panhala, Lohgarh, and many other. Okay. From Maharashtra, Gujarat to Tamil Nadu also. Clear? Now, about Maratha military landscape or some of its features. So, basically, the reason why these 12 forts are unique is because of these following features. First of all, every fort is unique and every fort is based on its terrain, integration with terrain, built across the Sahedri Mountains, Konkan Coast, Deccan Plateau, Eastern Ghats, and they have different physical features, and therefore the forts were also designed according to them. There were some military innovations in these forts, included multi-tiered defenses, secret escape routes, rainwater harvesting systems. Plus, these forts were a symbol of Maratha power. It was basically a resistance against the dominant rule in that time, and that was basically Mughal rule. Okay. Now, the Maratha military landscape nomination was identified by UNESCO in its tentative list in 2021. So, Maharashtra government is not bringing this out of the blue. Okay. UNESCO had its sight on these forts. Okay, already. So, if Maharashtra government is bringing forward this proposal, well, it's not something that is non-deserving. It's completely deserving because UNESCO feels that. That is why it put these. It actually had put these forts in its tentative list in 2021. All right. And that would be all. With that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But, like I say this always, it will add more value if you revise this as well. So please do not forget to revise these current affairs. Okay? And on that note, I'll be signing off. Thank you so much, everyone.